AI-based sector analysis and to identify promising sectors by using the predictive algorithm. In this example, we can see a recent example from the last month. We can see that the algorithm was highlighting the finance sector, the technology sector, and also the energy sector as the ones that should be relevant for the next month. And we can do this sector analysis also for the long term. Here an example of a 3-month ETF forecast that the algorithm was generating basically on August already. So back in August, we could identify the most promising sector and also the respective ETFs that are relevant. And in the very same way, we are generating daily forecasts for multiple investment universes for over 120 world indices and sectors for the fixed income. And as mentioned, this is a long-short algorithm. Sometimes the algorithm is identifying or predicting negative trend in the market. In this example, we can see an example when the algorithm basically was identifying negative trend. We all remember what happened in this date or by the beginning of March. This is the beginning of the corona crisis, when we started to see the coronavirus in the market. And we can see that basically 3 days before, the algorithm was identifying to predict this negative trend, to highlight stocks to short sell. And this is very interesting example in this case. In the very same way, we are generating forecasts for additional universes, commodities, currencies, cryptocurrencies, and basically every stock exchange around the globe. So to sum up, the predictive algorithm, there are 2 ways to utilize the predictive algorithm. On one end, it's possible to utilize it as an advanced AI-based research product in order to identify opportunities in the market. And on the other end, it's possible to utilize it in order to manage funds. Thank you very much.
Wonderful. Thank you, Yaron, for the, I know it was, you tried to condense the 1-hour session you have into 20 minutes, so I do appreciate it. And thank you very much for sharing this with us. Of course, if anyone wants to have some more information, you can reach out to Yaron himself, myself, or Moed, and we'll make sure to make the connection. So thank you very much, Yaron.
Thank you.
I'd like to ask our next company to join us. We have Levent. We have Adi and Guy from Levent. Hi, Adi. Hi, Guy.
Hi, everyone. Good morning. Good afternoon.
Hi, guys. Good morning.
So please, Adi and Guy, take it away. I'll update you in like a 5-minute mark.
No problem. I don't think we will need it. Okay, so thank you very much, Tal. You know, we have very, very long story. I'm not going to tell it now, but you know, the first time I present the idea behind Levent was the first time, I think the first event in my life was with EquiTech and Tal. And definitely when I heard what he said, he's very well connected to the Israeli ecosystem. And he helped us to do or to be what we are right now a lot. So thank you, Tal. And now to Levent. So my name is Adi Katz. I'm the CEO and the co-founder of Group 107. Together with me, Guy Ama, my partner, our CTO, and we both worked in Group 107. Group 107 is a public company. 2 months ago, we did an IPO in Israel. And under the group, we have 2 main activities. The first one is Levent, a FinTech startup, which allows people to trade like professional. We actually democratize trading. And the second activity called Israel IT, we are helping companies from Israel and other 17 countries all over the world with very good talents from the high-tech spectrum, from developers to non-developers, from small solutions to very complicated. We are working with banks and with hedge funds, and we have many different clients. But what make us together is the fact that Guy lives there in our technology hub in Ukraine, and I'm here in Israel. And together we actually doing something very interesting. Today I will put the focus on Levent, but before that I will explain a little bit about our company, about Group 107. So as I mentioned, we did an IPO here in Tel Aviv Stock Exchange. The reason why we choose the Israeli Stock Exchange, first of all, is because we do believe that Israel have so many things to bring to young companies and to grow companies. Like if you think that you can raise money from hedge funds and you know whatever your goals, so you know the regular thing is to go to the NASDAQ and to try to be there. But we said that first we want to do the IPO here in Israel for the whole group, and then we will try another market. And definitely, as I mentioned before this webinar started, that Canada is one of our first option to do a second IPO for the group or for Levent. So about the group, we have, first of all, something that we are really proud of. We have 5 women in the senior management. In the whole group, we have 272 employees. Now, since it's related to September, of course, we grow from this point, but we cannot say it right now. We are standing right now on 16 million shekels revenue rate into 2021, and we are growing. And right now we have more than 85 new customers and 81 open positions in our technology hub in Ukraine. Some of our partners, so we are working right now with Finastra, one of the largest startup or FinTech, not startup, one of the largest FinTech companies in the world. The reason I think why they called us is because Levent actually is about to be a standard in the trading world. We democratize trading, and I think it's like I gave someone example today. You know, I learned how to drive in manual gear. My kids probably will learn how to drive auto gear, but the kids, them kids will actually say, Tesla, take me home. And this is what Levent doing right now in production. And I will show you very soon. But Phoebe, First International Bank of Israel, is our first client, and we are working with Trade.com, with Trader in the American market. For Israel IT, we have clients such as Yellowhead, one of the largest performance or marketing agency in the world, Maple, G42, 1 Hour Translation, Geffen, that just did an IPO in the Australian market. Kanabotech did an IPO in Israel. So we are working with all of them in Israel IT and with Levent. So a bit about our board of directors. So as I mentioned, Guy, our CTO, both of us from Jerusalem originally, and I live here in Tel Aviv for the past 4 years, and Guy is living in Ukraine for the past 6 years, managing our hub with hundreds of people, tech people. Danny Cohen, our chairman, more than 25 years in the banking area in Israel. Roy Katz, our CFO, Sandra, our COO, Hannah, Eugene Kendall, if you know him, Professor Eugene Kendall, CEO of startup Nation Central in Israel. Tamar Yassou, she is the chairman of Israel company in Israel. Mebar Dus from Cisco, the global Cisco, she lives in San Francisco. She is one of our directors, and Maya Finger, Dr. Maya Finger. So all of them, to be honest, or like I think, yes, besides Sandra and Roy, all of them came to our group because of Levent. All of them do believe they came before we did the IPO, they came to work with us on Levent, but all of them do understand what we realized a few years ago. And I will tell you some story that I had a few months ago with our crowd. Someone from our crowd in Israel asked me to present our product to our crowd in New York. Now, they knew we are not looking for money. By the way, with Levent, we never raised capital. Me and Guy owned the company before the IPO, and with the IPO, of course, we are the main shareholders of the group, but we never did an IPO, and we never actually seek for money because we believed in the product and we financed the product all the way. But when I came to present my product to our crowd in New York, someone over there, like the first thing he said, told me, "Look, Adi, I saw thousands of products like Levent. I saw your presentation, impressive, but I don't want to rule the party. I saw thousands of products. Actually, I'm using 5 of them." I told him, "Okay, you want to change the presentation? I will play with you some game." He said, "Yes." I told him, "Okay. What is your favorite trading platform?" He said, "Robinhood." And the second one, Fidelity. And the third one is Interactive. "You have account over there?" "Yes." I told him, "Okay, open one of them." He opened, he shared his screen. I told him, "Okay, now I want you to buy Facebook if the volume of Facebook crossed $50 million today." He said, No. Hold on, I need the price. What is the price of Facebook?" "I don't know the price." "If the volume of Facebook will hit 50 million today, I want you to buy." He said, "I cannot. They don't have such feature." I said, "Okay. So I will give you another easy option. If Apple went down 0.5%, buy Facebook." He said, "Okay, let me check the price of Apple." I told him, no, automatically. Do it send it and go to the kitchen, go to do something. He said, "I cannot." I said, "But you saw thousands of products like Levent." And then he said, "Okay, please show me the presentation." And I replied, "It's too late." So what is Levent? Levent actually allow you to create triggers based on ideas, based on anything. It doesn't need to be price. It can be price, volume, indicators. It can be fundamental indicator. It can be the weather. It can be anything, like any alternative data that will trigger an entry to position. But you don't need to monitor the screen. You can do it in advance. You can say, "Okay, I would like to go in if the volume of Facebook crossed 50 million, but I would like to go out of position if I lost 15%, but do it in advance. I don't want to wait. I don't want to monitor my screens to be there. So do it. And then you can do, okay, if I doing 2%, or if something happened to some indicators, and suddenly Levent is a very simple GUI, okay, that allow you to do almost anything, but you don't need to understand trading. You can set entry and exit conditions in advance, okay? You don't need to use your buying power. It's dramatically, because all over the world, even for brokers and for banks, if you want to be there, you must use your buying power. I have $100,000. If I will send now an order to buy Apple, okay, for the whole amount, the bank or the broker will take all my money, but I'm sitting on the order book. I'm not in position yet. Now, if I see opportunity for Facebook or for Tesla or for other ETF, I cannot do it. I need to cancel the order, and then I need to send a new order. With Levent, you don't need to do it, because you setting up all the triggers in advance, okay, how you want to enter, how you want to exit. And only when the trigger hit, we send immediately order to buy or to exit position. You don't need to refresh the strategy or the order every day, because it sits in our system, in the Levent platform. So only once it's hit, we will send the order. You can do a repeat strategy mode. This is something that doesn't exist anywhere. Every time Facebook goes above 300, I would like to buy. Sorry for mentioning Facebook all the time, but this is the most easy for me. Every time it's crossed $300, I want to buy. And when I'm doing 10% profit, sell half of that or sell all of that, and repeat it until I will tell you stop, okay? And of course, you can backtest all your strategies. And it's not a regular backtesting. It's a backtesting tick by tick. So, it will be very close to reality, although you don't have the book to fight with or to do something, but it will be most closely to reality. So this is what the platform allows you to do, and combine it with a very easy GUI. We are targeting 95% of the people that had bank account all over the world, and they are not doing trading. We are not targeting professional traders. We are trading everyone, like my father, my son, people that don't want to know what is Tesla and why is very good, like why I need to invest today in Bank of America. I would like to use strategy templates. I would like to see other people doing strategies. I would like to use it for myself. Like I have an idea. I understand that if tomorrow morning it's going to be raining in Pennsylvania or in Toronto, it's a very good trigger for me to buy stock from India because it's related to each other. So I will combine this strategy. I will click play and it will be there instead of me. I don't need to monitor it. So this is what we can do. This is actually all about in Levent. So a little bit about our achievements. So 2018, I presented Levent with Tal, and Phoebe Bank actually really liked the idea, and they decided to implement our product first only to First International Bank of Israel, and second we implemented to the other 4 banks. 2020 we got twice certificates from the European Union, excellence, badge of excellence for deep technology and innovation. This year we signed a strategic partnership with Finastra, with Trader, with Trade.com, and with Public Group 107. And next year going to be our year when we implement the product into banks in the States. And hopefully after this webinar, we will have new connections to the Canadian market as well. Because we really think that it's a very, very good, there are very good opportunities over there. A bit about the market where we are living. So you can see from 2019, the red line, of course, it's the retail traders. They are pushing the market up. I don't need to waste your time and to tell you why they are doing this, but definitely the option of trading, of doing money, fast money, and the knowledge around it became very, very, very popular. You can see it by the number of investment applications that the young people are downloading. So Germany, this is the change from 2019 to 2020. Of course, United States, Russia, Ukraine, Turkey, and in Israel, it became also very, very, very popular. By the way, I never mentioned, but we have a very, very, very strategic partnership with the Israeli stock exchange. We build an app, Bursa Live, that allows everyone to see live data. Here in Israel, it's always delayed. All over the world, it's delayed with 15 minutes. Only if it's paid, you can see live data. And we are giving live data to the public in order to democratize trading and allow people trade from our application, Bursa Live, into the bank account. So it's something very interesting. Our solution can come either as SaaS solution on the cloud, or it can be on-prem. So we are targeting banks tier 3 and 4. We would like to work on the cloud. I think it's much easier. This is Guy area, but I think for the banks, it's much easier once you don't need to handle all the security level because we are not collecting any data about the customer. We don't care about his funds. We don't care about his strategies. We are only allowing, to create strategies and then via the API or the fixed protocol to send the orders. And we are managing everything for him, but we don't know who is the person and how much money he has. And we already have those sets of APIs to integrate with anyone. So it can take on a cloud from 90 to 120 days. And we actually saw that we can do it in less than that if the other side work very closely. If it's on a prem with tier 1 and 2 banks, it can take more time, but then it's like a very tailor-made solution with the bank brand and white labeling. So the customer even doesn't know that he moved from his bank to our platform. and it's also this is the same solution as we did with Phoebe. Actually, we are certified by the main Bank of Israel, which is very good. Only 3 startups received this I would call it approval from the central bank for the past 4 years. So I explained about
I give you the 3-minute mark.
Okay, so a bit about the customers. So the customer set all the triggers in the backend. Okay, we are listening to the data feed, the stock data feed, the alternative data, everything, and then we waiting for the trigger to be true. Okay, and once it's hit, we're sending the orders through the API, the fixed protocol, to the bank, and we manage the whole transaction. We know how to deal with partial, we know to deal with anything, but the user doesn't need to know what is market price limit. It doesn't need to know what is buy, sell, order book, all those very scary words we drop to the garbage, and we give them a very simple GUI to be part of the trading world. Okay, we are targeting right now banks and brokers. We are not looking for investment, unfortunately. Okay, I'm happy that we are not looking for money, but we are looking for very good connections. And if you can help us with that, we will be more than happy to cooperate and to see how we can work together in the future. So thank you very much. You can reach me anytime through my LinkedIn page or through group107.com. Thank you very much for your time. Guy, if you want to add something, go ahead. Perfect. So thank you.
Okay, thank you, Adi. Thank you, Guy. I think that the members here would have loved some to see the app itself, but I really recommend to connect with Adi and Guy and have a follow-up for that, because it's in Israel, it's working very well in several banks. So thank you for the presentation, Adi. And I'd like to invite our next company. Adi, if you can unshare your screen, it'll be helpful.
I'm trying.
Ooh, okay, this will be, yeah. All right, thank you. So, so I'd like to ask Yuval. Yuval is CEO of EazyShow. Yuval, you're with us?
Yes, I am. I'm here.
Yuval, how are you?
Good, very good. How are you doing?
Wonderful. So please tell the audience a little bit about EazyShow and take it away.
Okay, 1 second. I'll try to share my screen. I hope you see my screen now.
Yeah, you can see it.
Okay. So my name is Yuval Moed, and I'm the CEO of EazyShow. And before I start talking a little bit about our product, let me repeat what we all learned is almost obvious in the world that we live today is a change world. If you look 18 months ago, we would not think that we'd be here as we'll be working as we do today. Many of us operate remotely. Our needs for security has just increased tremendously. And at the same time, the need to be personal within this changing world has grown and become far more essential. And if we thought that this will pass and will not become part of our day-to-day reality, the new waves of COVID in different parts of the world serve as a daily and weekly reminder that the world has changed. So we basically dealt with that, with something that we all learned to understand, which is interacting remotely with video, just as we're doing now. And we will introduce what we have done with some of our clients, and by taking our solution and elevating it to specific use case scenarios to meet some needs. But before I do that, let me just quickly introduce my team. It's myself, I'm the CEO of EazyShow. Have a very long experience in the industry of remote engagement. Hanan Lis is my partner, both entrepreneur in the area of technology and actually also real estate. We have a very experienced CTO, Evgeny Belitsky, and our Chief Revenue Officer is Ayala Raviv. One second. So the world went completely remote, and we are not the only player there. Needless to say, here are some of the names that we all know, such as Twilio in cloud communication, Hopin in the virtual event, Zikin in e-commerce, Nextiva in call center software, and of course, Zoom as we're using here for video conferencing sessions such as we have today. However, the issue we discovered as time passed that it was mainly in highly regulated industries, specifically in financial services that was used for years to have to see people face to face to move forward. The same thing with healthcare, and also in highly valued e-commerce activities. So in a situation where face-to-face communication was a standard and in real physical way, you would walk into the store or office, online usage of video was an issue, mainly because it wasn't good enough to meet complex e-commerce transactions or transaction period. And that's where we started looking what we could do in that specific area. We knew that security and compliance was an issue. We also knew that with other solutions coming into play, that the customer experience was extremely important factor to make a solution effective, both on the side of the agent and both on the side of the client. And to manage that, we had to generate a lot of data that management and agents themselves could use and provide a service that could really replace the service that we used to know by meeting face to face and so forth. And therefore we developed a EazyShow, and EazyShow is a solution that provide customer support tools and integrates deep into our client platform. In other words, nobody knows we exist. We are part of the solution of the client. I'll give you an example in a few seconds, but it's an instant video that the moment the customer gets into our client platform, they click on it and they can interact in person, and they have a very powerful insights to see if there were issues and so forth. And the results, needless to say, because we wouldn't have been here now, is that the improved conversion rate, efficiency in both completing transaction and in creating the longer funnel and growth of our client. And we come into play both in the backend and front end. In the backend, of course, we help improve the sales and support. We integrate with the client a CRM solution, be it Salesforce or whatever, and we allow them to do the KYC, which is extremely important process in the regulated industries, the way that we're working with them, and we provide the in-depth analytics. And in the front end, of course, we provide seamless customer experience and a very smooth journey. And that all is being measured today. So let me talk about one of our main examples. BBVA Bancomer, one of the largest banks in the world, BBVA, has started working with us very early as COVID became a part of our world. And initially we started very small, but then quickly they realized that their employees could no longer go to the office and customers could not walk into the banks to do simple transactions. And we worked very closely with their IT team as well as the operation team, and develop and design the flow that would allow them to interact with their client in a very simplistic way. The client had to only touch the screen on the mobile device or had to go through their web application and instantly interact with their agent. But more than that, what did it mean? It means that the customer comes in, start interacting instantly via video, goes through a process of KYC. Once they pass this process, the next step is that the customer started talking with the agent. The agent would fill in the application of the customer, let's say and the customer would be able to see that the whole thing gets recorded, both the agent screen that is taking the data from the customer as well as the interaction with the customer, and get encrypted and then later on uploaded to the bank cloud. And then if necessary, can get decrypted either by request of the authorities in the bank or the regulator. And we developed a solution that is completely customized to the financial services in the most efficient way, because we could measure it. We saw significant increase in the number of sessions over a year ago. We jumped by over 300% in number of sessions. We're talking about thousands of sessions on a daily basis. Furthermore, the sessions became shorter, and that was an indication that the agents know and learn how to operate our solution more efficiently and get the same result. Furthermore, if they started in the area of loans, they moved to area of opening accounts, they're moving now to area of verification and so forth. That is the area that we are focused on. Another example is in the area of high-end e-commerce transaction. For example, we worked very closely with the FCA on allowing them to sell a car remotely. It was a situation customers could not walk into dealerships. Dealerships needed to start selling cars with a concierge service remotely. And we developed a process where the agent can take the mobile device and get a call on it, walk around the car, take it to a virtual tour, and complete the transaction and move the session into their laptop or PC or whatever, and complete the transaction. Everything gets recorded, and also do the funding, financing, and so forth. The result is that there are more players now that are asking us to use our solution completely as is, without even having a store that is open for the public. It's just like a location where they can sell online utilizing that solution. So when we did a comparison, because just like all of us do it, I just share it with you guys. We looked at the number of areas such as video communication, agile in terms of secure platform, customer team insight, and integrated experience. We found ourselves in each of those categories, and because we're very focused, remind you, on the regulated industries, while other players were focused in parts of that area and not on all of them at the same time. And we felt that our growth is going perfectly well here. So our business model is mainly consists of a subscription. That's the way that we make most of our money. But 20% of our revenues come from customization and so forth. We are about 10 people. Some of our people are working out of here in Israel. Some of them are also Ukraine, Russia, and so. We are a US-based company out of Michigan, and so we have some people there, and we experience more and more demand for our solution. We're not ready to go public, but we're definitely ready to raise additional funds, and I'm more than happy to speak to anyone once this session is over. Thank you.
Wonderful. So thank you, Yuval. We actually have some. Okay, so thank you, Yuval, for the presentation and talking about EazyShow. I know you're working very closely on customer engagement for financial institutions as well as internal communication. And I hope that the companies here will see the value that is within it, and truly focusing on the regulatory side of the financial institution is something that not many companies have been able to, say, tailor to and master to the level that you did. So again, thank you very much. And if you want to reach out to Yuval or you can reach out either on LinkedIn, email, or through myself or Oded. Let me see if we have Guy ready and available as well.
Of course. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Tal.
Hi, Guy. Wow, cool background.
Hi, how are you? Yeah, thanks very much. That's when you're in the stars.
Phenomenal.
How's it going?
Very well, thank you. So please introduce Exberry and your revolutionized approach towards trading.
Thank you very much. So good evening, everyone. Unfortunately, we don't have the time to do a roundtable. My name is Guy Melamed. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Exberry. Been 18 years in the tech industry. And I'll jump immediately into Exberry. Exberry is the next generation future solution for marketplaces and exchanges. So basically, I'll take you to our world in a second. Exberry was born in the world of capital markets. And as we know it today, the world of exchanges and marketplaces is drastically changing. And what we see today is that the current infrastructure cannot support the traditional capital markets players, but especially when you look into next generation exchanges, digital securities, and other types of exchanges, and definitely marketplaces, we see that there is no appropriate solution to the quickly changing landscape and the requirements, whether it's new asset types or new forms of trading. Another way of looking at it, in 2010, we knew the world of exchanges, national stock exchanges, etc., as a very traditional market. We saw only the national stock exchanges and those traditional players. In 2020, we saw already surge of a small piece of the crypto market, which was nice. But what was interesting to see was a new type of asset classes that were starting to emerge into our world. And what we know today already for a fact is that by 2030, and the latest survey says already, and I'm a big supporter of that, still being relatively cautious here, that by 2025, the infrastructure of the world of exchanges is going to change, since the current infrastructure is 20, 30, sometimes 40 years old, fully outdated, and cannot support the existing world. Basically, the problem that we're serving today and what Exberry is bringing as a next generation solution is to replace the outdated technology that is out there today, definitely the one that is unsuitable for new markets. The long time to market with existing technology will take you between 14 to 36 months to touch the market. And last but not least is the crippling cost structure. So millions of dollars are being spent on infrastructure of exchanges, and the pricing models are outdated as well, which cripples the revenue generating machine of an exchange today. If it's a tier one, but definitely when you go into the tier twos and the tier threes of the world, they cannot survive with these cost structures, especially when they cannot innovate and show new asset types into the market. And there goes Exberry. We've created Exberry as a cloud native solution. Our infrastructure is asset agnostic, so we can tag along. First of all, we can introduce every asset type. And when I say every asset type, it's every asset type. It's not only digital securities, it's all forms of digital securities, bonds, futures, of course, also cryptos. And we are blockchain agnostic. In today's modern world of exchanges, we see a lot of usage in real-time settlement and sometimes using settlement measures as DLT, so distributed ledger. technologies, and we are agnostic to all blockchains, so we can serve our clients well by choosing the best blockchain that can help them. And since we were born in capital markets, this even enables the most traditional players to enjoy the world of innovation when using our engines. Continuing to the next point, we're able to serve both the traditional players and the future marketplaces of the world. I think one of the most amazing things that Exberry offers to the market today is diminishing the time to market. So I would say close to zero time to market. So today with a client, we'll be able within 2 months to have a full production solution deployed to the world. And the flexible cost structures, again, it's based on the architecture and the deep tech that we've created Exberry with, enables actually the smallest size of exchanges to touch the market, and at the same time, national stock exchanges to know they have a stable solution they can count on. Just a small brief insight into one of the latest performance testing, and there are new ones already that have been made and soon will be deployed together with the chief architects of AWS, one of our closest partners. We've been able to test 1.5 million transactions per second in measured in microseconds for high frequency trading, low latency, and we've been able to improve thousands of times on-prem solutions by the leading birds today in the market. And as I said before, this has not only to do with performance, but also with cost structures that can save millions of dollars for those players today. So in a nutshell, Exberry is exchange as a service. We're asset agnostic, cross-platform. We're flexible. By the way, by cross-platform, I mean we can tag along also on your existing technology, so it offers you a slow release into the market without taking a full risk of changing all your infrastructure. We're fully aware of it. Our multi-tenant enables, as I said, all types of clients, also on-prem client and cloud, and a mixture of that. Again, high availability and the fastest time to market. We've touched the market about 7 to 8 months ago. We were supposed to close 2021 with 7 paying customers. We have passed that point already, and we've decided to double up our projections till the end of the year. So we're about to close 12 to 14 clients by the end of the year, passing the $1.1 million ARR. Hence, 3 weeks ago, we've initiated our A round, seeing the fact that Exberry is experiencing happy growth. Again, we have clients from all over the world. Unfortunately, I cannot say that we're focused only on one area. We're touching APAC, we're touching Europe. Our clients come from both of those continents, as well as Middle East, and now North America as well, and Mid and South America as well. So we are basically deploying customers worldwide. Our clients right now differ from digital security exchanges through, let's say, physical commodities, ILS, so insurance-linked securities, and derivatives market. But by the end of the year, we will have 1 to 2 national stock exchanges deployed on Exberry system. As for competition, everyone is heading towards the cloud. We know that. We saw also last week only that Google announced a $1 billion investment in CME. So we know for a fact that the big birds are heading there. They are suffering from a high total cost of ownership and outdated architecture that will take them a while before they will get to the cloud. Exberry is today 3 years ahead of the market in terms of the quality and the performance of the engine that we've deployed. Our engines, again, we've deployed our matching technology as a go-to-market strategy, and today we're already working on our next-gen development. Again, the matching technology came with juxtaposed components, and today we're working on our next-generation offering, and that will happen in the coming month. Probably we'll see a lot of big notifications about it also in the press. As for the team, we're 15 people today. Most of them are based in Herzliya, Israel. We've got sales and marketing in London, and some of our development team is based as well in Kiev. That's it. I think I'll make it short, and if there are any questions, I would love to keep an open discussion. naturally I could keep on talking about what we do and how we do it for hours, but I think I'll spare your time. So if there are any questions, Tal or anyone, I would love to answer.
Okay, great. So thank you very much, Guy. I actually wanted you to maybe give a little bit more about a process that, like maybe a case study of one of the processes that you did, going from non-digital to digital, if possible. Is there something you can share?
Definitely. Let me just pop a slide. 1 second. So there are interesting stories. Let me take this one. I hope you can still see my screen. 1 second.
Yeah.
Great. Super. So that's a great client, by the way. Probably you'll hear a lot about it in around probably within a month. They're just ramping up their marketing, and they're going to be deployed in the US by January 22. It's influencer index. It's probably going to be an SEC approved exchange. Basically, what we had here, it's let's say a dominant group in the US that decided actually to launch an influencer index. So basically, it's a combination of a trading app together with social media platform, and we see these kinds of new asset types that arise every day. It amazes us what kind of creativity in the market is today for digital securities and new types of asset classes. But here, what you'll have here is the audience would be able to invest in influencers. So imagine LeBron James or others that actually they are having a primary issuance for their, let's say, social influencer contracts. And from that moment, all those shares, after they've been predefined with their fixed price, traders can buy and sell them. So basically here we had a major competition by the big birds. We had NASDAQ and another big player with us on the table. We took the competition here after 3 meetings. We took the deal because we were able also to support this asset type, which was pretty not usual. Also, again, we support bonds, futures, derivatives, naturally shares, and every other traditional asset. But here there was a special need in a DLT solution, as I explained before. So there's a blockchain behind the scene with a ledger that helps to create all the transactions in the fact that the asset is an influencer. And that's why we took the deal. Aside from that, as to time to market, as I mentioned, time to market being one of the definitely USPs of Exberry. These are already real screens that are being built as we see it today. Naturally, the whole experience is also on mobile, etc. Again, we did this deal also with DA, with Digital Asset, New York-based company that is integrated into our system. Again, the architecture of Exberry enables multiple partners to join our ecosystem. We see today also Algorand, another blockchain that has joined our ecosystem, and together with Exberry, they are facing now new clientele from the world of capital markets. So over here, I think this is a great exchange that you should keep your eye on in the coming month in the US. Again, there are more intriguing user stories for physical commodities, insurance-linked securities, which is an amazing security that is being traded for billions of dollars, and we are able to serve those companies today already in 2 locations around the world. So that's just another user story. Any questions?
That's what I wanted to share, because it gives some more idea on what do you mean when you're saying non-traditional trading. So definitely a very interesting use case.
So we see a lot. By the way, we see also banks. We've just signed our partnership with several partners from the banking world. So also banks we serve today with internalizers to their capital markets divisions, and by that also offering solutions lighter solution, innovative solution, enable banks to do innovation. This is something that was always very bothersome for banks, so we're able to do that. So if I look at the segments today, we've got national stock exchanges, the most traditional players, and there we can offer to extend their offering into digital securities, futures, bonds, derivatives, etc. Change their settlement mechanism into a real-time settlement instead of a T+2. Okay, digital securities exchanges, as mentioned before, marketplaces, and last but not least, what I just mentioned also with banks. And that's the thing, you know, today we see already those use cases like this one. And again, we're amazed every day by the creativity and by the race of the traditional market to start fetching those new asset types into their systems, but they cannot support it with their existing infrastructure. And that's our play here.
So beautiful way to materialize that. Okay, thank you very much, Guy. It's been
thank you, Tal.
Been remarkable, actually. Guy is actually our last company presenting. If you have any questions or you want to approach, again, you can reach out to me or Ded or Guy directly. I'd like to ask first, so you know, this is really the tip of the iceberg of Israeli fintech. We selected some companies that are approaching to the market, to the Canadian market, who are looking for engagement with Canadian based say corporations. But definitely the market here is yielding a lot of opportunities. I really hope that you'll find a way to engage, and I'm here to assist in any way possible. Thank you very much for the time. Oded, would you like maybe to say some closing remarks?
There we go. Yeah. So Tal, first of all, yeah, I would like to thank you so much for putting this event together, Tal. I mean, we work very much collaboratively. We're very excited about this. And then the other thing I do want to tell all our speakers is that our intention is to working with you. There'll be more events like this. So we're very excited that there'll be other opportunities. To our guest speakers, that was so impressive. I'm in the capital markets, I'm in the financial services world, and I see how this is going to turn things upside down in many, many ways. And I think that that's wonderful. I'm not surprised that Israeli technology is at the forefront. I'm thrilled that it is. You know, I think, I apologize, I can't, there was so many, I think it was your comment, Tal, that 5% of the technology coming out of, we know 9 million people in Israel. It's very much punching above its weight, and it's not stopping. So thank you, all of you. For those people on, if there's any questions, follow-up questions, as we said, feel free to reach out to Tal or myself. We'll direct it to the speakers. To our guest speakers, thank you. I know it's coming up on, it's only 7:30 at night in Israel, and Israelis are used to North American time. So I do want to thank you all for coming. It's been an amazing event. For everybody else on the call, we're having our next event with Canada's Chamber of Commerce is next week. We're participating with the Maryland group, celebrating over a year of the Abraham Accords. So that's coming up. And then we've got, expect some more events on November 23rd and in early December. So that's it for now. I want to thank one last time our sponsors, Foundation Markets and Dunfield Capital Corp. Thank you very much. You've been great friends of the Chambers and great partners. And we look forward to seeing everybody at our next event. Thank you very much, everybody, and have a wonderful evening and afternoon.